The weight of silence is blocking more than just your voice. It's fragmenting your soul and holding back your ascension. There is a hidden knot in your body that you never knew existed, located in the cervical subdiaphragm, a sacred area that connects breath, heart, and throat. This knot is not just muscle tension. It is the prison where all the truths you swallowed, the words you held back, and the emotions you shut down throughout your life are trapped. Each time you silenced your authenticity, your body created a new layer of blockage in this region, turning it into an invisible, vibrational gag. This is the 8th episode of the series, The 12 Somatic Knots of Trauma. And today you will discover not only how to identify this ancestral blockage, but how to fully release it. I will reveal a precise protocol based on somatic and vibrational codes preserved by ancient traditions that frees your authentic expression and reconnects your voice to the strength of your soul. By the end of this journey, you will feel that every second you spent listening was a step toward the communicative freedom that has always been asleep within you. This knot has a specific name in somatic traditions, the knot of forbidden expression. It manifests physically as a fascial contraction surrounding the hyoid bone, that small horseshoe-shaped bone that floats alone in your throat, without connecting to any other bone structure in the body. This unique anatomical feature is no coincidence. The hyoid bone was designed to be free, mobile, and able to vibrate without restriction. But when the knot of forbidden expression forms, it traps this bone in a web of tension that completely blocks its natural function. The result is a disconnect between what is beating in your heart and what you are able to speak. You feel, but you can't express. You carry deep truths, but they get stuck somewhere between your chest and your throat. This blockage didn't appear overnight. It was built layer by layer. Each time you had to stay quiet, every situation where your voice was shut down, every moment when you swallowed your words to avoid conflict or rejection. By the end of this experience, you will have in your hands a clear protocol to dissolve these layers of silence and reactivate direct communication between your essence and your expression. This knowledge is born from the fusion of ancient wisdom, which understood the body as a vibrational temple, and modern discoveries about how trauma crystallizes in specific physical structures. The Hermetic traditions of ancient Egypt identified this region as the gateway of the living word, a point where the soul's vibration would materialize into audible sound. The priests of Thoth taught that the hyoid bone functioned as a detector of bodily truth. Whenever someone tried to express something false or misaligned with their essence, this bone would automatically contract, creating that familiar sensation of a lump in the throat. This wisdom was not superstition. Modern somatic neuroscience confirms that the hyoid bone is directly connected to the vagus nerve, the main regulator of the autonomic nervous system and the communication channel between the brain, heart, and gut. When this nerve is compressed by cervical tension, it sends constant signals of threat to the brain, keeping the body in a state of chronic alert. The Sumerians developed techniques based on the spiral of the true word, a geometric pattern that aligns breath, intention, and sound to restore the natural flow of expression. The quantum physics of vibration supports this knowledge. Every anatomical structure has a specific resonance, frequency, and the cervical subdiaphragm resonates when the heart and mind vibrate in harmony. Neuroplasticity reveals that repeated experiences of silencing create automated neural pathways. The brain literally becomes programmed to suppress expression before it even begins, anticipating threats that are not always real. The first step in releasing this knot is learning how to identify it accurately. Place your right hand over your throat and swallow your saliva. You'll feel the hyoid bone moving up and down, In a natural state, this movement should be smooth and full. But when the knot of forbidden expression is active, you'll notice the movement is restricted, as if something is holding the bone in place. Now place your index and middle fingers on either side of your windpipe, just below your Adam's apple. Gently press and take a deep breath. If there's a blockage, you'll feel tightness or even mild discomfort in this area. A blocked cervical subdiaphragm also shows up through specific emotional signals. You feel like you have something important to say, but the words simply won't come out. There's a constant pressure in your throat, especially in situations where you need to speak up or share an opinion. Many people describe this as emotional choking, as if there's an invisible barrier keeping feelings from turning into words. Energetically, this knot creates a disconnection between the heart and the head. You can test this by trying to sing a low note and holding it for a few seconds. If your voice shakes, breaks, or you feel discomfort sustaining the sound, the blockage is there. Another sign is the tendency to breathe only with the upper part of the lungs when the cervical subdiaphragm is tight. It prevents the breath from reaching all the way down to the abdomen. The deactivation begins by repositioning the cervical spine. Sit upright and imagine an invisible thread pulling the top of your head toward the ceiling, naturally lengthening your neck. Place the tip of your tongue on the roof of your mouth, just behind your upper teeth. This ancient position automatically activates the cervical subdiaphragm. Now take a deep breath through your nose, directing the air specifically toward the mid-chest area, as if you were trying to inflate a balloon located right behind the hyoid bone. Hold your breath for 3 seconds, then exhale slowly through your mouth, releasing a deep, extended "aw" sound. Repeat this cycle 7 times, focusing on progressively relaxing all the muscles around your throat. The next step involves working with the body's memories of being silenced. Shape your hands into a cup around your throat without touching the skin, creating a field of energetic warmth. Close your eyes and allow memories to surface. Moments when you were silenced or felt forced to swallow your words. Do not analyze these memories mentally. Simply feel where they show up physically in the cervical region. Each tension you detect represents a stored layer of repression. Breathe consciously into these points of tension, as if your breath were a natural solvent capable of dissolving old contractions. This initial protocol begins to soften the rigid structures that keep the knot active, preparing the ground for full reactivation. The vibrational reactivation establishes a specific energetic geometry that reconnects the body's 3 main centers. Place your left hand over your heart and your right hand on the top of your head, leaving your throat free in the center. Take a deep breath and visualize a golden spiral beginning in your heart, rising in a circular motion through your throat and culminating at the center of your head. This is the spiral of the true word used by the ancient Sumerians to restore authentic communication. Hold this visualization and begin to vocalize the sound Om in a prolonged tone, directing the vibration specifically toward the hyoid bone. The sound should originate in your chest, pass freely through your throat, and resonate in your cranial cavity. Repeat this cycle 9 times, noticing how each vocalization creates waves of vibration expanding in a toroidal shape, like an energetic donut surrounding your entire cervical region. Between each repetition, pause for 10 seconds and observe the sensations that emerge in your throat. You may feel tingling, warmth, or even slight trembling. All of these are signs that the fascial structures are reorganizing. To seal the release, finish with a clear and firm vocal affirmation. My voice is free, and my truth flows without obstacles. Speak this phrase 3 times, each time with greater strength and conviction. This complete protocol restores the natural flow between heart, throat, and mind, fully dissolving the knot of forbidden expression and reclaiming your capacity for authentic expression. Kendra carried around her neck the weight of 4 generations of women who were never allowed to speak. Her great-grandmother had been silenced by an authoritarian husband. Her grandmother swallowed decades of opinions to keep family peace, and her mother was taught that well-mannered women didn't contradict others. This legacy took form in Kendra's body as chronic tension in her neck, a discomfort that had followed her since adolescence. She could physically feel the weight of ancestral voices trapped in her throat, showing up as a constant pressure that made her whisper instead of speak, lower her gaze during important conversations, and accept situations that deeply hurt her. Her relationships were shallow because she could never express her true needs. At work, her brilliant ideas would die before they ever reached her lips. The feeling of invisibility was so intense that she started to believe her role in life was simply to exist in silence. When Kendra discovered the protocol to release the knot of forbidden expression, something extraordinary happened during her very first session. She physically felt the layers of silence begin to dissolve, as if decades of repressed words were finally finding a way out. Her voice became steady, her presence magnetic, and her truths flowed effortlessly. Her relationships deepened because she could now communicate her essence. At work, her ideas were finally heard and implemented. Kendra didn't just free her own voice, she broke a generational pattern spanning for generations, allowing the voices of her ancestors to finally find peace through her courage to speak. When you try this protocol for the first time, something unexpected may happen. Your body may simply refuse to cooperate. Your breath becomes shallow, your throat tightens even more, and a subtle sense of panic rises out of nowhere. This isn't psychological resistance, it's ancestral cellular memory. Generations of your ancestors lived in times when speaking the truth could cost them their lives, when questioning meant persecution, when expressing freely was the same as signing a death sentence. This survival programming still pulses in your cells, interpreting any attempt at authentic expression as a mortal threat. To transform it, you must speak directly to this primal memory. Before starting the protocol, place your hands over your heart and say aloud, "My ancestors protected me through silence, but now my safety comes through expression." Repeat this sentence until you feel a subtle shift in the tension in your neck. You are letting the deepest layers of your being know that the evolutionary context has changed, that expressing truth is now an act of power, not vulnerability. Only when this reprogramming takes place does the knot of forbidden expression fully dissolve, transforming ancestral fear into the vibrational courage that has always been your birthright. When the knot of forbidden expression dissolves, something profound begins to reorganize throughout your entire existence. Silence is no longer an unconscious prison, it becomes a conscious choice. You can choose to speak, or you can choose to remain silent, but both options now come from your freedom, not from your fear. Your voice regains that magnetic quality it always had, but that had been buried under layers of ancestral repression. People begin to listen to you differently, because your communication now carries the frequency of authenticity, something that instantly resonates in the nervous system of those around you. Wilhelm Reich, a pioneer of somatic psychology, once said that the ability to express freely is the foundation of all emotional and physical health. He understood that the repression of expression does not stay trapped only in the throat. It spreads throughout the entire body, creating muscular armor that blocks the flow of life force. When you liberate your voice, you liberate your life energy. Every word spoken with vibrational courage doesn't just heal personal wounds. It breaks through ancient patterns of silence passed down through generations. You become a healing link in your ancestral chain, allowing the voices of your forebears to finally express themselves through your bravery to speak. This protocol is not just a physical technique. It is emotional alchemy. It is cellular revolution. It is the reclamation of your most essential communicative nature. When you apply this knowledge, you're not only healing yourself, you're freeing entire lineages from the weight of silence. And when your voice finally emerges, free from all invisible gags, it carries within it the power to awaken others to the same freedom. Because truth, when spoken without fear, has a contagious force that breaks down all the invisible walls built by time. If this message resonated with you, leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications. This helps expand the reach of this field of wisdom to more people who carry the weight of forbidden expression. I want to hear how you're feeling the transformation in your cervical subdiaphragm. Share in the comments. I release the weight of silence and activate my authentic expression. This statement connects you directly to the healing frequency of this specific knot. Share this video with someone you recognize as living trapped by this ancestral blockage. This was the 8th video in the series The 12 Somatic Knots of Trauma. Keep exploring the other episodes available on the channel. Click on the screen now to watch another transformative video. Each discovery reveals a new layer of body liberation that's been waiting to be activated. Remember, your authentic voice is not just sound, it is the vibration of your soul finally finding its way home.